Hello everybody, Sanir, engineer, MBA, and investor. And in today's video, I want to talk about Antilia Therapeutics CEO stating that this is the beginning of something big. Before we do that, before we jump into today's video, you guys know the drill. You guys know exactly what to do. Like this video, smash that like button, destroy that like button. Really does help the channel with the YouTube algorithms. You guys know the drill. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Hit the notification bell if you want to go a step further. So, the title of this blog article is The Beginning of Something Big. And this is an article written by the CEO of Antilia Therapeutics on their website. And it was published just under 3 days ago. And just as a reminder, the CEO of Antilia Therapeutics, is John Leonard. And he's been very, very transparent with the company in terms of, whatever he said that he was going to do, he has gotten it done, right? Whether that is NTLA 2001 data for in vivo, whether that is NTLA 5001, which we'll talk about it shortly, whether that is about some acquisitions they've done, whether that is going forward with base editing, everything he and his team have said, they've gotten it done. Keep that in mind. So I've been part of Antilia since beginning in 2014. It's been an incredible ride so far with many people who have contributed along the way. Back then, we recognized with tremendous promise of genome editing and its potential to transform people's lives. But there's a difference between recognizing possibilities and realizing them. And with Antilia February 2018 announcement, 28th announcement highlighted the latest data from phase 1 clinical trial for NTLA 2001 for the treatment of ATTR disease, we are seeing CRISPR potential as a one-time treatment for genetic diseases. 15 individuals with unique lives and stories have participating in part 1 for our first human phase 1 study data. An initial clinical test suggests that relevant aspects of their diseases have been significantly impacted. So again, end of February, we got additional data for phase 1 data for NTLA 2001 and a total N sample of 15 patients. Now, not all 15 patients got the same dose. There were 4 different cohorts. We were more focused on the last 2 cohorts, which make up a little bit over 60-70% of that N sample. I think it's like 9 patients, but clearly quite a few patients there that have been potentially cured from ATTR due to that one-time treatment of NTLA 2001 CRISPR therapy. It's important to note that clinical trial for NTLA 2001 is still in early stages. We have much more to learn and prove in our development programs for ATTR and other diseases. For me, that is exactly what makes this moment so exciting. We are in the middle of stepping from one world to another, from turning a promising technology into a prospective medicine, and one step closer to the vision of seeing and making a difference in people's lives. We are in the middle of stepping from one world to another. And this is what we've repeated, guys. This is the next level, right? This is the next era, frontier of technology, of human era, where no longer we just talk about moving bits to bits, information to information through the internet, through technology, through software. But now we are talking about moving atoms to atoms, right? We're going to that DNA. And we're making that change so that the cells replicate in such ways where the disease now no longer becomes the majority of the number of cells in the body. For example, for CAR T cells, for example, with cancerous cells, where you have more healthy cells, less cancerous cells over time due to that one-time treatment or potentially 2-time treatment from CRISPR Therapeutics, who've actually mentioned in yesterday's video, if you guys remember, CRISPR Therapeutics CEO mentioned that they're opting in a second dose. But again, 1 dose, 2 dose, even 3 dose, compared to what you have, the alternatives, there is no alternative, actually. You're comparing apple to orange, right? It's not like it's less expensive, the other treatments. It's not like they're more expensive and that's it, right? It's not just about cost. It's about your lifestyle, right? Think about the IV fusions. Think about all the hospital visits. Think about everything you have to do for these legacy techniques to sort of quote unquote treat your disease or whatever you have. There is no cure for many of these diseases, and ATTR is one of many, right? So So the CEO talks about, the history about a little bit about his joining in the company and how, the Vatican invited him and many other people talk about it. What is possible if scientists keep chipping away over time, expanding our ability to reprogram our own genetic software? We may be able to address the treatment and perhaps even the prevention of disease we ever imagined. Right? So clearly here, this is a revolutionary advancement, and I love this type of article because the CEO sort of addresses the big picture, right? It's no longer just about one particular program, in vivo versus ex vivo, it has nothing to do with that, just a big mission, right? And I think this message is a great testament to all CRISPR companies, right? I really hope other CEOs of other companies learn from Leonard here and from NTLA, where they got the job done. They're getting the job done. They got the job done, but there are a lot more work to be done, right? And until we don't have an FDA-approved drug from any of these companies, job is never over, right? And I would argue the job is just never over, period, right? There's so many other diseases to tackle, so many other technologies to implement, so much more to hire, other programs to implement, some acquisitions and mergers to happen. Consolidation will happen in this space. I've always said it, but there will be many winners, right? And I want to end this video really quickly, guys, with this article that, again, published on the March 9, and coincidentally, it's the same date that the blog post was posted. Perhaps this was influenced by this news, where NTLA actually received US FDA orphan drug designation for NTLA 5001 for the treatment of acute myeloid leukemia, right? So just as a reminder, NTLA is actually already on the way, right? This is not something that's like, they've already filed for IND. They're already going forward with phase 1, phase 2 trials for that. But this is a ex vivo, right? Ex vivo T cell therapy, right? Just don't forget ex vivo, not in vivo, ex vivo. But the point of bringing this up is now they've gotten orphan drug designation from the FDA. And just as a reminder, when you get these types of orphan drug designation, it basically means you lower costs, you reduce your delays, and you basically get that priority for certain patients around the regions, right? So the reason why, again, I've covered this multiple times. You guys can Google that information as well. The reason why US FDA, EMEA from Europe, or Health Canada in Canada, those regulatory bodies, the reason why they give these types of priorities to these companies is because there's many patients that are left untreated. There are many patients that cannot get an alternative cure or potential treatment or alternative treatment period due to cost, due to limited therapies, due to limited all sorts of resources, right? And these regulatory bodies approach these companies and say, look, we're going to reduce your fees, we're going to reduce your delays, and we're going to give you that drug designation program for that specific program, but we want you to implement that for our patients, right? And it's the US FDA doesn't have to be the only regulatory body. You can have the EMA, which we've seen this done with CRISPR therapeutics and other companies. Health Canada, which we've seen done with ViaCyte with type 1 diabetes. So lots of potential here. I'm really happy to see NTLA 5001 getting this type of designation. But again, like the CEO of NTLA mentioned, this is the beginning of something big. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video if you found value. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And I'll see you guys tomorrow on a beautiful Sunday. Thank you.